Earlier today, Donald Trump sat down for a Q&A at the National Association of Black Journalists Conference. Here to discuss is Delano Squires, BlazeTV contributor with Fearless, with Jason Whitlock, opinion contributor for Blaze News, and Heritage Foundation research fellow. So Delano, we're going to start with watching the very first question that was lobbied at Donald Trump today.
You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network.
Delano, break that down for me. How do you handle that?
I mean, I think he handled it in true Trump fashion. I think President Trump tends to mirror the type of interaction that he gets from journalists. So if he feels they're rude, I think he responds in kind. If he feels that they're complimentary, he responds in kind. The question certainly was loaded. It didn't come out. She could have just easily said, President Trump, your presence here is controversial to some, but why is it that you chose to come, and what message, is it that you want to offer to black voters? But obviously the question was loaded with a lot of assumptions, and I think he responded in kind. Obviously the crowd had a strong reaction, and I think everyone involved in the interaction benefited from it because it only reinforced the things that they're trying to get across. The journalist got to appear tough, asking tough questions to the president, holding his feet to the fire. He got to, again, play tough to his base, and the audience got a good laugh out of it.
And we saw that Donald Trump was giving Kamala Harris a hard time for not attending the conference. He put on Truth Social that they told me crazy Kamala Harris, that could not even attend this event with Zoom. It's not allowed or acceptable. She declined. He says, I am getting ready to land in Chicago and ready to be there. Now she's telling me that she's going to do this on Zoom. What's going on here? So Delano, how did Harris get away with not showing up to this conference? Donald Trump is going to take time out of his schedule. How does Kamala get away with it with these voters?
Well, to be fair, I'm not sure what type of scheduling conflict she had, right? So I can't go into it that much. I do think it's interesting that he's trying out Crazy Kamala as a label. I can already see how that would land at NABJ. And I think one of the things that's important to note here is that I think Trump supporters would say that President Trump treats everyone the same regardless of who they are. And in that sense, I think that's a characteristic that is to be admired. But particularly for the black voters who are critical of him, his use of Crazy Kamala, saying she's low IQ, saying things that are personal in nature, they use that as evidence of a racist motive and intent with respect to how he speaks about her as his opponent. So it's one of those things where certain things I think are lost in translation. It remains to be seen whether she will actually do the Zoom town hall. I read something on Twitter that said at one point one of the people who was trying to organize this even floated the idea of a surrogate, whether Barack Obama, or Oprah Winfrey, or even Megan Thee Stallion coming in her place. But it remains to be seen how they will actually handle a conversation with her and whether they'll actually do the Zoom call.
One thing that we do know about Kamala's schedule is last night she was in Atlanta, Georgia. And you know what? See if you notice anything different about her voice here.
And you all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. So let's get right.
It's clearly election season because the fake accents are coming out. Delano, what is going on with Kamala as she goes down there to the South trying to connect with the voters on this?
So I can already see how the Trump camp would spin this. They'll probably say, Kamala the chameleon or something to that effect. I will say this, right? This is reminiscent of the Hillary Clinton, I ain't no ways tired, and other politicians who've done this. But again, let me give you the other side of it, which is many, particularly Kamala Harris supporters, will say, well, she's just code switching, and in that they mean she is affecting a particular style of speech that comes natural to her, but that comes out in certain environments with people she's comfortable around. And if you know anyone who's bilingual, or even some, my wife is from Texas. When she's up north, and when I met her, she certainly didn't speak with a Texas accent. When she's around her family from Texas or Louisiana, it comes out more readily. Now, I don't know if Kamala Harris ever speaks this way organically with people when she's around them, or whether this is, again, a Hillary Clinton sort of incident, because I don't think that Hillary Clinton is used to speaking like a Black Baptist preacher from South Carolina. So I'm not sure which one of these this is, but it certainly looks as if this is sort of a Clinton-esque attempt to appeal to voters.
Yeah, see, I mean, here's the problem, Delano. It's certainly understandable when people say, oh, code switching, but it's become this excuse for something that's very strange. And, maybe there's something we don't know about Kamala and her background, but I don't think it's Kamala from the block, or from the hood. I mean, this is someone who had very, accomplished family, and she pretends over and over again that she's it's a class thing. She pretends that she was hanging out, right, smoking weed and listening to Snoop, as she said, which is a little, timing doesn't quite work for her. Timing does not quite work. So this faking it, I mean, where do you think that does come from? I mean, let's say with Hillary, why would someone do that?
Well, I think with Hillary is a little clearer, right? So when she goes on the Breakfast Club, in 2016, it says she carries hot sauce in her bag, and they said in real time, that sounds like people are going to say that you're pandering, and she says, well, is it working? I think it's fairly clear, that what it is that she was trying to accomplish. But again, identity is a very interesting and sort of delicate thing, right? Because a person can appear to be, it's like a prism. When you turn it, it is going to refract and reflect light in different ways, right? So I'm not, again, I don't know Kamala Harris personally. I don't know her personal background like that, but I'm sure her surrogates would say, look, she went to a historically Black college, right? Mm-hmm. She's an AKA, she's in a Black sorority, and when she's around other Black people, this is the way that she's used to speaking. When she can sort of metaphorically let her hair down and relax, and the camera's not on, they would say this is the way she's used to speaking. It's just that you get to see it now in front of however many thousands of people were there. So I'm the type of person where I try not to assign motives to someone unless I can clearly see what's going on. And it's quite possible that, again, this is just her code switching. Or, as I said, she could be doing sort of a Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama mashup where she's trying to affect, put on a certain accent to try to appeal more to certain voters. We'll know if she starts to do the wobble or the electric slide at the next campaign stop. Then maybe that'll be a sign.